Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
Oh, my goodness. Boring. Darby Allin is boring. You know, I wasn't here last week I wasn't here last Wednesday because I was in Las Vegas. But while I was there, AEW, unfortunately, took the World Heavyweight Championship off of the top guy in the company, who they squashed to put it on a glorified stuntman and now run weekly open challenges until he inevitably loses the championship. Who exactly does this benefit, chat? Certainly doesn't benefit MJF, doesn't benefit me. Dynamite that were in Portland tonight. When you figure out what happened on tonight's show and you find the story on tonight's show, you let me know. We're going to the venue. Jesse is here with me. The beverages are ice cold. The rants will be loud. And when I walk through those doors on this Wednesday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters: long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for April 22nd, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be, joined by the one and only Chi-Town Smart Jesse. What's going on, brother?
Low girls.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, people.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing?
I'm pissed that YouTube nerfed my whole gimmick, man. This is bullshit.
We got to take it easy until July.
Oh my god.
I got 90 days apparently.
They actually gave you a strike for that?
Well, it's not a strike. It's not a strike. It's a warning, and the warning goes away after 90 days.
It's complete horse crap, man.
Yeah.
Complete.
Yeah, they thought you were they thought you were doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing.
The ironic thing, the AI system in YouTube is just flat out broken, man. I'm watching another content creator that I frequent, and he put up an AI image. He's somebody that catches like these online scammers, and he put up an AI image of a fake person with a fake ID, fake address, fake everything to show people what to look for and not get duped into scams. And they banned this video and said that he was exposing someone's personal identifiable information.
Yep.
Fake person.
I'm not surprised.
He went and complained, and they re-uploaded the video like 2 days later.
I'm not surprised.
Such horse crap, man.
The world of AI, man. The world of AI. We're doomed.
Man, I'm telling you, man. It's crazy. How was your weekend, bro? I heard you were out in Vegas gambling big time, winning a whole bunch of money. How'd that go?
No, I didn't throw a fucking dime into any of the slot machines or sit at the tables. But I'll tell you what, man, I spent $23 on a single cheeseburger from Johnny Rockets with fries.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I spent $9 on a bottle of water.
Yeah, that also sounds about right.
Yeah. Most of my spending was with Uber. They loved me.
Yeah, bro, the gambling in Vegas is the only thing that has not gone up in price. I mean, food has gone up, entertainment's gone up, tickets for everything has gone up, but the gambling is still the same.
Did you know that Penn and Teller and Carrot Top are still performing in Vegas in 2026?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Plenty of celebrities who you thought were gone has residencies in Vegas, man.
Yeah, I didn't know Carrot Top was still doing his thing.
I know he's active doing something. I thought he was doing the comedy circuit, stand-up comedy circuits.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
You know what also I found out? I found out that Metallica is having a residency at the Las Vegas Sphere.
Ooh, was it there when you went?
No, but I was inquiring about prices, and they'll probably cost me half of my lung to go watch one Metallica concert.
Yes. No, bro. That's why I was thinking about going to the Motley Crue concert down the street from me, because the prices are reasonable. I can get front row tickets for less than $200.
I don't think I want to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to watch a 60-year-old James Hetfield struggle through fucking Master of Puppets, man. I can listen to the 1985 version or whatever the fuck it is, 1986 version.
It's crazy, man. It's supposed to be a night to have fun. Get out, see one of your favorite bands play live. I mean, is it the same as it was 30 years ago? No, but get out and have some fun. But the price it's too much money, man.
It is.
It's fucking crazy. That's crazy, man. Man.
You know what wasn't fun, man? This show. Listen, maybe I'm just tired. I've been going since last Monday. This is the final stream before I actually have a day off to do legitimately nothing tomorrow. Thank God. But I don't know if it's just a mix of me being just wrestled out or tired or a mixture of both. I did not have fun with this show tonight. Even though the Darby and Tommaso Ciampa match was very good because I love Ciampa, I didn't really find anything interesting elsewhere on this show. How'd you feel about the show tonight?
Look, man, I come here and you know, when you say this show is bad, it is bad. I agree with you. I didn't find anything offensive about this show.
There was nothing offensive about the show. I just find it to be like, I find it to be like when I go to the supermarket and I want to buy a $9 quart of ice cream and I want something really that's going to taste good and I want to enjoy myself on a random Thursday evening while I'm watching Netflix. But then I realize, why do I have to spend $9 on ice cream when I could go buy a $3 quart of ice cream? That's what AEW was tonight. Just plain old vanilla quart of ice cream from the local Pathmark.
So I think the show was fine. I'll give you this much, though. I am looking at the show on the curve of pro wrestling in 2026. Overall, it's just absolutely dull. So that being said, tonight's show was not as dull as the normal pro wrestling shows of 2026 has been, if that makes any sense. If I'm gonna grade the show on the scale where I would like to have my pro wrestling shows, I would say there needs to be some improvement. But as far as what we've been getting, this show was fun, man. The main event fucking slapped. The main event went hard. I like watching MJF crash out over his title. You know, seeing the Hurt Syndicate back on Wednesday night is actually good news. I'm hearing they're just stuck in Collision purgatory. So the teaser that, oh shit, the match they're having is back on fucking Collision, isn't it? God damn it.
Yeah, they're teaming with Jericho on Collision, yeah.
On Collision. They need to be back on Wednesday nights. I mean, at least we did see them for a second, though. But outside of that, you know, we got Joe in the squash. Does Joe need a squash match? No, but he has been out for a while, and he is, you know, racking up the injury, so maybe take it easy on him, which is fine. I don't know. I didn't see anything like absolutely terrible about this show to call it bad, if I'm going to be honest with you here. I know this is going to upset your audience. I know they love, you know, hearing the show get shit on all the time, and that's all they want to hear. And if somebody says that they like something and they call them shit, I mean, what the fuck ever, man. They can have at it. But I didn't find the show boring, personally. So maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Well, I know we weren't here last week. I watched it all go down last week while I was in Vegas. I was on Twitter, and I checked my phone to see how they would fuck over MJF and take the World Championship from him and put it on Darby Allin. I was not surprised, and I also was not pleased with the decision. So we'll definitely talk about that. Elsewhere on this show, Darby and Ciampa, excellent main event. I mean, both guys, when tasked to do so, do what they got to do. They always show up for work. We have Will Ospreay and Mark Davis. Mark Davis seems to be getting more television time than many others right now. For whatever reason. I don't know. But Will Ospreay was carried out by the Death Riders, and they just took him away.
Yeah.
No explanation.
No.
That's the stuff that we're talking about. Why? What was that about? It was more confusing than anything after Ospreay and Moxley beat the shit out of each other at the pay-per-view.
So at a moment like that, I looked at it, and I'm going to play devil's advocate on it, because we sit here every week, and I mean it when I say it. This place needs more story. It needs more story. It needs more intriguing story. It needs something to sink our teeth into. And then they start to give us something like, why is the Death Riders taking Will Ospreay out? You know, literally taking him out in a way when we're sitting there asking questions. Well, that's a reason to tune back into next week to find out. And we might not know what the story is. We don't know if we're going to like it or not because it hasn't really developed yet. But this is the start of something that we've been asking for, which is story. It's story. Is it good or not? We don't know because it just happened. It just happened. And it's not like a one show story. It's a story that's going to take clearly more than one show to tell said story. So they started telling a story, and right away people are like, well, why is this happening? Tune in next week to see the rest of the story.
You're giving the Death Riders the benefit of the doubt on telling a story, bro.
Story. That's it.
We don't even know what they are on a week to week basis. One week they're heel, the next week they're babyface.
They're babyface. They look like baby faces carrying Ospreay out of there. And that was my first thing. I was like, what the fuck? Are they baby faces this week? What is this? And then watch. You don't believe me? It's up on my channel. I said, I was like, I don't know, are they baby faces now? And then I said, you know what? Hold on. They're attempting to tell a fucking story. And I'm gonna shit on it before they even get a chance to tell it. Let me see what they do. That's like reading the first page and saying, this story sucks. Next page. This story sucks too. Next. Read the fucking story. At least give it a minute to suck before you say it sucks. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm not saying that to you. That's what I'm telling myself as I sat there and said, they're baby faces. What are they doing? This seems like a baby face move. I mean, I thought they were heels. Let me fucking see what they're doing. All right. I mean, I want them to do more than they do more than I complain about it. We tell them to take risks. We tell them to stop being so formulaic and boring and take risks. They took a risk and put the title on Darby, and the people are like, why are they doing that? They took a fucking risk on the kid. Is it going to pay off? We know those situations. There are situations when a man makes the title. MJF was a man that makes the title. But there's also situations where the title can make the man. And that's going to be the situation with Darby. MJF built a lot of stock in that title. Can Darby take it and use that title to get him up to the next level? It's a risk. All right. It could fail, but it could also work out. I mean, I'm going to let it play out for a little bit and see how it goes. I'm going to stop trying to be so just shit on this because it's on AEW and let's see where it fucking goes. We want story, they give us story, then we complain about the story they give us. I'm just looking myself in the mirror.
All right, well, let's start there because that's the biggest thing that happened on this show. It's all about Darby Allin and the AEW World Championship. Now, I wasn't here last week. I don't know if you live streamed your reactions. I think you did, right, last week?
Yeah, I wouldn't lie for a watch long. Yeah.
All right. So I was in Vegas. I saw everything happen. I saw how they built it up last week, and they brought in Sting, and they had all these people kind of rooting Darby on. It was
the writing was on the wall, right?
Yeah, it was very telegraphed.
Yeah.
I'll let you start before I give my opinion on it because I'm assuming that you might be a little bit more positive in the overall Darby win than I'm going to be. So I'll let you start. At first glance, I didn't like it. I thought the same thing you just legitimately said seconds ago. And I think the reason why they put the title on Darby, I don't know why they put the title on Darby, but I think now with him as the champion, they're trying to build him up and heat him up with the World Championship. Before, he was fucking ice cold. To me, he's still ice cold. But before, he was ice cold. And now somehow they feel like with the championship around his shoulder, they're going to heat him up to where he was previously before the Moxley situation, because he was pretty hot. And a lot of people were looking for him to be one of the guys to take out the Death Riders and maybe win the World Championship. So to me, it's all ass backwards. And I'll get my points across, but I'll give you the floor first because this is the biggest thing that we together didn't talk about last week. I was away. You were here. A lot of people asked me, JD, you going to talk about this? I said, yes, on Wednesday with Jesse. So I'm going to give you the floor. You start. What did you make of the Darby win? And what do you think of him being the AEW World Champion?
So when I saw it, I'm like everybody else. I mean, so I looked at it and like this, it doesn't make sense on the surface. Like you said, Darby was cold. He was hot. And then he died, and he got kind of cold. And they were trying. You can tell they were trying. So it seems like as the show was going on, it looked like they were gonna definitely do the title change. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna hot shot the title. It's very reminiscent of a Mick Foley winning a title on Raw. A very unconventional, probably a guy that will probably never win the title type deal, wins the title. They took a chance on the kid. It's a hot shot. My question that I started asking myself after I started saying this stuff not gonna work, this is a bad idea, then I started looking at it from the other side. Is this gonna hurt MJF? Is MJF buried? Is MJF worth nothing now? Of course not. MJF is very bulletproof in the situation. Okay, is Darby a fan favorite? Will the younger crowd who loves Darby pop for this? Of course they will. Can Darby roll as world champion with the title? That's yet to be seen. And I think that's what the mission was tonight when they put him in this match with Ciampa and they burned the fucking house down. So again, you can be of two ways. This is clearly a glass half full, glass half empty type deal. I don't think anybody is wrong with the way that they feel about it. I genuinely don't. And then it hasn't happened long enough to definitively say one side is right or wrong. So it could very well be a case where the title is making Darby bigger. Darby was dead and they pumped him full of fucking adrenaline. They pumped him full of epinephrine and brought him back to life with the title. And they're going to try to take a hot shot and take a chance on the young guy. There's nothing terrible about that. It could fail. But even if it does, I understand why they did it. I will look back on and say, I see why they did it, but it didn't work. Or I could look back and say, I see why they did it, and it actually worked out. My assumption was he's going to lose this. He's going to win this title now and lose it to MJF at the next show in New York. and they're gonna spend this month seeing how it goes. Maybe they'll have him retain in New York, depending on how the month goes. Who knows? But the show needed a shot in the arm. It needed something different, and we always talk about how they need to take risks. And this is a risk worth taking. I could see it being a risk worth taking. There's a very huge demographic of AEW fans that are big on Darby, especially the younger kids. It can't be the worst thing on the planet. MJF gets the title back. Everything is back to normal. It's not like MJF is a worse champion overall. And I'm sure this is part of his call as well. He wants to help get others over. This is him getting others over. It's not just Max sucks, take the title from him, put it on Darby. Let's try something. Let's take a fucking risk to tell a story, to do something. Not be so formulaic. Okay, Max is going to run through every goddamn competitor for the rest of the year and then drop and then go film a movie and then come back and get the title back. That's fucking formulaic. They took a hot shot. Darby was an okay candidate to take that hot shot, and let's see how it goes. We'll find out over the next few weeks. Right now, night one, this was a fantastic match for that title, though. I will give them credit for that one.
Tonight was a great match. I mean, Ciampa is one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I don't have any problem with him. I don't know why he's challenging for a world championship. He's done nothing to earn a championship opportunity here, but that's another story for a different day.
Yep.
You know, we're both big fans of MJF. You know, yeah. I may be a little bit too old school for the new school kids, honestly.
Yeah.
And I look at MJF as the modern day Ric Flair, or the modern day, you know, you want to go back in time to when we were young. You know, he's the guy that carries the whole fucking company on his back. You know, the Pipers, the Ric Flairs, the Macho Mans, he's the guy. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, he shows up at World's End. He wins the championship. We're going to get just classic main event after classic main event. We're going to build his stock up. He's going to be the most villainous fucking heel in the industry, because that's what I pay my good money to see. I want a dastardly heel to a point where you got a babyface who's going to conquer the heel, good versus bad, in the moment, in that environment at Wembley, and we all pinpointed at Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay was going to win the championship at Wembley. So when we get to February and they go to Australia for Grand Slam, to see them just kind of book Brody King the way that they did, and Jesse and I complained about it, right? They gave Brody King a championship opportunity, and he got that opportunity by beating MJF in 90 seconds. MJF was the world champion. So the whole premise there was Max wanted Brody to beat somebody or a slew of guys that were championship caliber to get to him. And the story was Brody went to Tony Khan and said, well, there's no better championship caliber than MJF. We'll just do a championship eliminator. Boom, boom, boom. Brody goes to Australia, and then we get the full-fledged match with MJF, and Brody loses. Jesse's complaint and my complaint was Brody King deserves better than that. You should have built him up alongside the Hangmans and the Andrades and the Omegas and the Swerves and that whole kind of competitive nature for the World Championship. He just gets one match with Max, beats him in 90 seconds, and then loses at Grand Slam. Very predictable.
Yep.
But the main thing that we focused on is that you just jobbed your world champion out in 90 seconds. Like, he's the ace. Like, and again, this goes back to what I just said before. I guess I'm a little too old school for the new school kids. If I'm running a company or a promotion, I'm not throwing my fucking number one starter out there to get fucking slayed in the first inning. Like, but why would you do that? I hated that aspect of it. So they sent him out there, he loses in 90 seconds. He beats Brody. He goes on to Revolution, has the best Texas death match with Adam Page. He goes on to the next pay-per-view. He wrestles Kenny Omega. He beats Kenny Omega. 2 tremendous championship title defenses. I'm like, all right, this is the championship reign that we all envisioned. Hopefully he kind of settles into that even more dastardly heel roll, and we go with MJF and ride the champion into August. And then we stop, and we get this thing that happened on Wednesday last week. Darby all of a sudden is making these comments. He wants the world championship, and we've seen Darby throughout the last year. He opted to climb Mount Everest. He was supposed to be in the All-In main event in Arlington. He was not there in a championship match, but he was there to help Adam Page or assist Adam Page in beating Jon Moxley. That was supposed to be Darby's moment. If you built Darby up with everything that you told previously with the Death Riders for that moment, not only would it have been great, but it would have been well-deserved, and it would have been so well-received that I don't think anybody would have complained. Adam Page got that. Adam Page got that because Darby Allin opted to climb a mountain for his own personal reasons. So we look at that and are like, all right, at least Tony Khan had the wherewithal to go with the best plan B. That's Adam Page. So Darby Allin, he's back on AEW television after relinquishing that spot, and he's in a feud with the Death Riders. And he's feuding with Jon Moxley, and we get the whole fish tank situation, and we get him battling Jon Moxley, and then he loses to Jon Moxley, and then he goes on and wrestles Pac, and he needs to beat Pac. And he goes into a pro wrestling match, one-on-one with Pac, and he wants to beat Pac. He doesn't beat Pac. So at the end of the day, Darby went from wanting to conquer the Death Riders and end the Death Riders and win the World Championship to not doing that, opting to climb a mountain instead, and then come back and battle the Death Riders, don't beat the Death Riders, and the Death Riders are stronger now or just as strong as they were in July. And Darby is still running around on television, not doing much of anything. So then they take him and put him in a feud with the New Japan Outcasts. We got David Finlay, we got Clark Connors, we got, what's his name, Gabe Kidd, and he's teaming with the Conglomeration. And Jesse, this is going on for 3 or 4 months, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Pay-per-view matches, casket matches, these dead-end matches, these 6-man tags every single week. Darby was so fucking cold to a point where I would legitimately get up and go do something else because I didn't give a shit about Darby Allin. And Darby Allin is one of the pillars of this company. We never said that or did that to Darby Allin over the 6 years until this year, until the last 12 to 18 months. So when you take Darby from that dead-end shit that you had him do, and all of a sudden now try to materialize a world championship caliber Darby Allin out of nothing, out of this ice-cold just storytelling that you had him in, how is it that you want me to buy into him and just bypass everything that we just watched for the last 12 to 18 months? That's the problem I have with it. So MJF goes into this match. He gives Darby the match. And they set it up. They telegraph it throughout the show. They bring all his friends there. It's in Everett, Washington. They even dug up Sting to put on the face paint one more time and give him that fatherly talk. Go out there and win the championship. And he wins the championship. And they do everything in Everett, Washington, Jesse, over the course of 2 weeks. He wants the match. The match is made. Sting is there. The match happens. And he wins the championship. I didn't think it was going to happen in 3 minutes, but it happened in 3 minutes. It should have went 30. Everything else goes 30, but it went 3 minutes. So my point is, you take MJF and you have him job to Brody, only for him to beat Brody. Then you take MJF and you put him through 2 of the best matches that the company's done all year. Then you put him in a championship match with Darby. You job him out again. It's basically a squash match. And Darby wins the championship. Only for now, Darby to take the championship and do these weekly open challenges. He wrestled Ciampa tonight. He's going to wrestle Brody King next week and beat Brody King. He's probably going to wrestle Samoa Joe. I don't know who else they're going to throw at him before we get to Double or Nothing. But when we get to Double or Nothing, it's going to be MJF and Darby Allin again. And we are to believe that MJF is going to win the championship back for a 3rd time, which is great. But we didn't need to take the belt off him to make him a 3-time champion. You stopped what could have been an all-time reign. You stopped what could have been that man's best title reign ever for the World Championship, one of the best title reigns in company history, to stop it, to put it on Darby, to give him a 3-time reign, to then only lose it to Will Ospreay at Wembley 3 months later. That's the problem I have. So when you look at it, Jesse, AEW forced this and made it seem so manufactured to a point where it just came off incredibly disingenuous. They gave him the hometown pop to give MJF the hometown pop to then give Will Ospreay the hometown pop by winning the championship. You know, pro wrestling and the people behind these shows, Tony Khan and Triple H, they have been so reliant on booking in the moment or for the moment. Yeah. I think that's just as uncreative as booking an open challenge every week or throwing open challenges for a United States Championship, a TNT title. A lot of predictable matches have also become the norm in pro wrestling. But now you've taken the hometown pop, which has been, I don't know why it's been so used and abused lately. Darby and Everett, MJF in Queens, and now Will Ospreay is going to do it in Wembley. Why are we booking the world championship of the company for a hometown cheap pop to manufacture a fucking moment instead of treating it with some sort of prestige? Why are you taking a predictable moment now for the pay-per-view in your main event of Double or Nothing, which honestly is your flagship pay-per-view, and building a predictable main event? Why are you taking that main event to put the title on somebody that should have never lost it to give me another predictable main event at Wembley because Will Ospreay is going to win the championship at Wembley Stadium for All In? This is the problem I have. Jesse, yeah. we're going from hometown pop being used and abused. We're going from predictable match to predictable match to predictable match. And MJF is going to lose the championship after winning it back again at Double or Nothing. I don't know why we need to take the belt off somebody when everything's up, the ratings are up, the attendance is up, the interest is up, everything's up, to put it back on Darby. I don't really understand what it's going to do for MJF, but make him look bad. He's not buried by any means, but it makes him look like a geek. And then you're putting the belt on Darby Allin. What is it going to do for Darby Allin? Do you want to know what I think it's going to do for Darby Allin? It may help him now in the short term, but AEW has a terrible thing of not following up. What does he do after he loses the championship? Where is he going to go? Is he going to go back and feud with the fucking Dogs or some other lower tier guy in a feud that makes him ice cold all over again? So what was the point of doing all of this to get him over now, only to not get him over the next 6 months? What's the plan? I don't trust them to have a plan. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. So again, and like I said earlier, it is definitely either a glass half full or a glass half empty situation. It's not a conventional path that they took for him. So it's gonna come with plenty of reasons why it shouldn't have happened. You know, the same way it's gonna have some reasons as to why it should. And the point that I want to hit on the most, what you just said, is the follow-up. It is the follow-up. Everything that all of the positive reasons as to why they did this are all gonna be followed up with the follow-through. What are they gonna do with Darby once he drops this title? Because if he goes back to the bottom of the card or to the mid card or doing something that nobody really cares about, then it does make everything they just did with him absolutely pointless. It does. If they're going to use this to catapult him into the main event scene, I think it's extremely important that they keep him in the main event scene. Because if he drops back down to challenging for the TNT title and everything else after this, then yeah, I agree. It was a complete failure in that regard, because you're trying to get him at a higher level by putting the title on him. He needs to stay there. Now, I can't disagree with anything that you fucking said, because there are plenty of reasons why this makes no sense and as to why they shouldn't have done it. But there are some reasons to do it, and if it was a good idea or not, it's going to come with the follow through.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what I would have done, and nobody would be complaining about this? Instead, and this is an indication of how things are run in AEW and why we as fans, the true fans, the fucking sicko fans, they're gonna be served slop and they're gonna eat slop and they're gonna like it and they don't give a shit. See, we actually have a voice, we have an opinion, and we care. And the reason why we rant and rave and complain is because we want the shit to be better. What they are doing is a clear indication. What they're showing you is a clear indication of how things operate there. This thing came about in a matter of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. I wouldn't even give them that many, probably the week of 2 weeks. They should have took Darby right out of All In. If they wanted him to be a main event player and they wanted him to be built up for the World Championship because he opted to climb the mountain and they gave it to Paige instead of last year's All In, why didn't they start planting the seeds from July, August, September, October, November, December, on into the new year? Instead, we got him doing God knows what with the Death Riders and looking like a fucking loser in the whole ordeal of the Death Riders as they become stronger. Then they throw him into the fucking Bullet Club War Dog shit. And then at the turn of the year, it's still going on. I mean, the whole feud with Gabe Kidd legitimately was like 4 or 5 weeks ago. It just came to a conclusion. So why didn't they start planting seeds for Darby way back when? To have this payoff and play it out when you wanted to do it and execute it this month. You made it seem like it just came out of thin air in a matter of weeks. It almost felt like an abrupt just stopgap to MJF's title reign. Like that wasn't planned at all. And whether this was Max's idea or some of Max's idea mixed with Tony Khan's idea, it's a terrible idea no matter who it came from. Because you're taking MJF, who's the most established star in the company, to put it on Darby and hopefully make him, he was already a made star. Why didn't you take the steps to make him into a fucking champion? We don't need to make him into a champion over 2 weeks. He was already somebody the fans wanted to see a champion. And you dropped the ball on the way to making that happen. That's why we're frustrated. You didn't take the proper steps to give this guy a feeling of being a champion, which is why people are looking at it. What the fuck? He's not a world champion. He's not a world champion because he's ice cold. You didn't do anything with him over the last 8 months. And you want me to be okay with MJF losing the championship in 3 minutes to stop his reign, to win it back in a predictable match in New York? Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
All valid reasons, man. There is nothing to argue against on any of that. That's what makes it a risk. Otherwise, it would just be the normal thing to do in a normal progression. It's not a risk anymore.
What are you risking, Jesse? The only thing you're risking is ratings going down, people losing interest, people getting upset. A lot of people did not like the decision to take the title off MJF. Honestly.
You mean people didn't like a decision AEW made? That's groundbreaking shit, bro.
Yeah, but when they're doing things right, Jesse, they're doing things right, according to a lot of people. I mean, the show's not fucking perfect by any means, but they're doing more things right now than they were 2 years ago.
Look, it was a risky call, and I'm not saying that anybody who didn't like it is just hating, because I get it. I do get it, man. I'm not going to argue with anybody who does not like it. I get it. I also get what they're trying to do with it, but I'm just not ready to chalk it up as a failure yet, because with the follow through, this could work out. This could work out for them at the end of the day. And we're putting the cart in front of the horse. Who's to say that MJF is going to win it in New York? We're assuming too much. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It could be a failure. I'll wait for this title reign is over. Then I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to be like, well, just wait forever and see how it goes. I want to wait till this title reign ends, and I want to see how they start booking Darby Allin afterward. All right? Because if they're wasting our time by putting him back in the mid-card somewhere or back in a tag team or somewhere of irrelevance while MJF just goes on to battle someone else, then you kind of wasted our time, because this was your moment to keep him as a main eventer, and you wasted that moment. So I want to see what they do with it. I'm trying to be more objective as opposed to just coming on here and say it all sucks. It's all stupid. Red skies. They don't know what they're doing. They're all dumb. This one came with a lot of downside. It did. Plenty of reasons to say it should not have happened. But the reasons to say that it should have happened have not developed yet. The guy had 1 week as champion. All right. So let's see what they do with it. Let's see how it plays out with his reign. Is he going to lose it in New York? Is Darby back to being a nobody? Is he back to fighting the fucking board dogs after this? Is he back to just hanging out? Or is he constantly up there? Is he up there with Will Ospreay? Is he fighting a Swerve Strickland? Is he hanging out in the main event scene consistently after this run? If so, then they just solidified themselves a new main eventer with the other top guys, and it might work out. We're going to need a little bit more time to see, though.
Then you got MJF, who comes out tonight and he challenges, or actually Kevin Knight challenged him, but MJF wanted to put, Kevin Knight in his place and said, well, if you want to wrestle the former champ, you got to put something on the line if you want another shot at me, because I've already beaten you. And that was a couple of weeks ago. So now MJF's challenging for the TNT championship next week against Kevin Knight. Now, I'm assuming it doesn't make any sense for MJF to win the TNT championship.
Right.
Kevin Knight just won the TNT championship. Why would you take that belt off of him to put it on MJF, who's going after Darby? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm assuming there'll be a fuck finish there in some way, shape, or form. I can't figure out how they're going to go about that. But do you really want MJF going into another match to lose after he just lost in 3 minutes to Darby? This is what I don't get. Why are we putting MJF in a position to lose potentially again?
No, this is a bad spot. When I saw him booking that earlier, I thought this was a bad corner to book themselves into, because you don't want MJF holding the TNT title. He doesn't need it.
No,
you don't want Kevin Knight losing it. He just won it. The only thing I can see coming from this match is a fuck finish and a DQ.
I hope so.
Because none of this makes sense. This is a feud that doesn't make sense. MJF should be clearly focused on getting his title back and nothing else. I like how they got him out there losing his mind because Darby is moving on. He looks like an ex-fucking girlfriend who's bitter because the guy moved on. He's out there losing his shit, man. He's fucking throwing tantrums. He wants his title back. That's what I want to see during this. I want to see Darby moving on to do other matches and MJF just ranting and fucking raving because he wants his match back. Actually kind of funny, and MJF pulls it off. But I do think this was mostly probably MJF's idea, by the way. We don't know, but I'm assuming this is not something that you would do to an MJF to make him unhappy. I would assume that he is very much on board with putting Darby over in this regard.
No, I agree with you there. I think a lot of what we're seeing is coming from MJF.
Yeah, and I could see it. I mean, it could work out, man. I mean, Darby has put AEW on his back, literally, every time that he gets the chance. He's been riding a dime for this company, and they took a chance on him putting the world title on him. I'm not mad at it. Darby's a loyal guy, man, and he's been riding for the company. Maybe he takes advantage of this gift that MJF and TK has given him, man. It could work out, but don't get me wrong. We've said that about many of things where we said, let's see how the follow-through goes, and the follow-through has been poor. And when that happens, unfortunately, I'll be sitting right here saying, yeah, they fucked that up.
Yeah, now the thing is, Omega is not done with the championship. Omega and Ospreay had a backstage segment last week, and apparently there's some dialogue there. Omega's not done with the World Championship. Because Ospreay wants the World Championship. I'm assuming Ospreay's going to eventually go in the Owen and win the Owen. And we talked about it on TNT. Jason thinks that it's going to be Ospreay and Moxley in the finals of the Owen, and Ospreay's going to go on to Wembley and challenge for the World Championship at All In. But Omega, we don't know where he stands. He still wants the World Championship. He's not going anywhere. All because he lost to MJF doesn't mean he's going to disappear off the face of the fucking earth. He's probably going to get back into contention. When and where, that remains to be seen. But if they put the title on MJF again at Double or Nothing, and we get another match with MJF and Kenny Omega, it is very likely that Kenny Omega could win the championship from MJF. So you'd theoretically be putting the title back on MJF to drop it to Omega, because the way that it came off to me when Ospreay and Omega were conversing last week on Dynamite is that could realistically be the main event for All In at Wembley Stadium. Because Ospreay looks up to Omega. Ospreay looks to Omega as an influence and one of his biggest inspirations. And you know what Tony Khan does. He gives the foundation to the talent for what they want. If Ospreay's crowning moment's going to be in front of his people, I'm assuming Tony Khan's going to ask him what he wants to do. And I won't be surprised if Ospreay wants to wrestle Omega and not wrestle MJF at Wembley. So what do you do there?
Yeah. So
which makes MJF losing the championship to Darby even worse because you'd only take the championship off him to put it back on him to take it off him so soon again. You should have just kept it on him. And you should have had Omega beat him if that's the case. Now I'm thinking ahead, and I may be thinking outside the box here because none of this shit has happened yet. But this is a possibility.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget. MJF is 30 years old. He's not even hit his prime yet. So he can hit his super long, lengthy world title reign at any given point. It's not like it's over for him. He just signed a new deal. He's 30 years old. He's not going anywhere. He's not even in his prime. So he can still be that dominant champion. Let's also not forget he's not a Gunther. He's not an Oba Femi. He's not a dominant champion. He's a very beatable champion. He's a cowardly heel. He's beatable. But he is their top guy. And if he's gonna be used to get others over, this is their way of trying an unconventional way to try to get someone over via MJF. It could fail, but it also could work out. It is a risk. It's more likely to not work out. That's what makes it a risk. But I don't know. I just don't want to be a hypocrite. And we sit here all the time and tell them these people that they need to fucking take risks. They need to do something. Figure something out. Don't be so fucking predictable and boring. They took a risk. What are you doing this for? Let's see what they can do. If it fails, we'll shit on it. But it could work out, and they're taking a risk. I'm not going to slight them for taking the risk that we think they should be taking. It's because we don't like the risk. Well, they're taking a risk. Let's see if their risk works.
Yeah, it also looks a little stupid to me when MJF went 45 minutes with Paige in a Texas death match, and then another 35 minutes with Omega, and loses in 3 minutes to Darby Allin. It's a little unrealistic to me. I don't know. Even though it was a low blow and we had four coffin drops, it's like MJF went through so much worse shit than four coffin drops. It's a little unrealistic to me. I don't believe it. So now, on top of it being predictable now going into the pay-per-view, it's unrealistic as well because you're expecting me to believe MJF is going to lose to a soaking wet 140-pound kid, and he lasted an hour with two of the best wrestlers in the entire company, one in a Texas death match and against possibly one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. You kidding me?
Yeah, they could have done a better job because he just came out of this match with Kenny.
Yeah.
They could have done a better job at selling how tired or beaten up and hurt he was from his match with Kenny, and Darby took advantage of that. That would have protected the moment a little bit from what you're saying right now. Because I agree to that. Because they didn't really play up the fact of he underestimated the guy. No, he was very well aware of Darby Allin and everything. He's already faced him. And they could have sold the wear and tear from the Kenny Omega match as the reason as to why he lost. I will definitely agree to that. But outside of that, though, I mean, yeah, I get why people don't like it. I'm not trying to sit here and if you don't like it, then you're just hating. Not saying that. It makes sense as to why you don't like it, but I also see why they did it. And I just want to be fair and let's give them a shot to see if their plan plays out. Because it's a risk. It's a fucking risk. It could blow up in their face, but it might pan out well. Putting the title on Foley the way they did was a huge fucking risk, and it paid off.
Well, that's a different era. You can't compare it to that era. You can't compare Darby to McFoley. You can't.
He was an unlikely guy beating a top guy. That's the comparison I'm giving it. He beat The Rock in prime. That's the comparison I'm giving him.
I'm not comparing the two situations.
Mick Foley was called a glorified stunt man. How many times has Darby been called that? It's comparable. There's nothing is the equivalent. Nothing is the exact same, but there are similarities there.
That was a turning point in the Monday Night Wars, Jesse, when WCW gave away the ending to the match and everybody jumped over and stuck with WWE from that point because it was such a great moment. I'm not comparing the two situations.
Bischoff made it that moment. It was just supposed to be a regular ass show until Bischoff gave the call for Shivani to say that. That was a Bischoff thing. If he would have kept his mouth shut and just mind their own business, it wouldn't have been such a monumental moment.
You know, another thing I don't like about this before we move on with the rest of the review, I've thought about this all week, so this is what you guys are getting. You know, I don't like the fact that we get open challenges every week is already frustrating enough. The fact that you got Darby coming out here saying, I'm going to defend this title every week until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
All right, you make the World Championship now just like everything else instead of taking it like MJF did and made it something people sought after, something that people wanted, desired, earned. You know, you're giving championship matches away every week doesn't really make the championship look good, even though we just discussed that AEW is hoping the title resuscitates Darby, who was ice cold before he won it. It's not the reason to put the championship on somebody. You're making the championship feel like everything else, and we already see that enough in all of pro wrestling, never mind AEW. And the story about him defending the championship until the wheels fall off, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they do that several years ago with Orange Cassidy in the International Championship where he had 26 or 27 title defenses and lost it because the story was he couldn't go anymore because his body broke down? So we're doing that same thing now with Darby as we did with Orange Cassidy, just in a shorter time period?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of open challenges either.
Like, there's so much to dislike about this. Like, I get why Max wanted to do it, and I get why they may be putting the championship on Darby to resuscitate him. But everything else that I mentioned, I mean, I would love for somebody to argue with me and tell me I'm wrong or I don't make sense. I think I make perfect sense.
No, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. You have very valid points, man. I mean, to anybody who's new here, I have no problem saying that I think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong here at all. You make very valid points.
I do like that they took a risk. I think this was the wrong time to take a risk. I love risks. I wish they'd take more risks. But you got to set the risk up for making sense, and the risk making sense and taking it from when you do it, execute it, and then what you do after it. Like, why are you taking the risk? Again, you go back to asking the question of why. You take the risk. Why are you taking the risk? What is the benefit of taking the risk, and where do you want the risk to go? I don't think AEW has the answer to these questions.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just don't want to be like, take risks, and then complain about the risk. That's just, you just complaining about every fucking thing at that point. Take the risk. I might not like it. Let's at least give it a chance. I'm giving their risk a chance. That's all I'm fucking doing. And that's not asking too much to give it a fucking chance. That's it.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't like it. Jesse's giving it a chance. Solid Monster, he said he likes when the monotony of things are broken up and it's not that big of a deal. I mean,
it's really not. I agree with him on that regard. It's not a big deal because MJF loses nothing here. Nothing. So
he's a company guy. He's putting his buddy over. He's doing what's best for the company, or he thinks he's helping the company. That's admirable. I get it.
Yeah. So I
just think he's making himself look bad in the process.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that I like it. All I'm saying is that it has potential if they do it the right way. So I want to see where they go with this. All right. If it's a failure down the road, I will come back to this and be like, okay, they failed on the follow through. Not a good risk. But look, when you buy a fucking lottery ticket and you lose, you bought the risk. You bought the chance. This is a risk, and it could blow up in their faces. But I just don't see a reason to shit on it before it even really gets a chance to succeed, because it could. It's possible.
Listen, this is, you know, we look at MJF, or at least I do. I'm assuming Jesse does. I don't want to speak for him. I think we both look at MJF as the Roman Reigns or the Cody Rhodes of AEW. Would you ever see Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or CM Punk defend the championship on a weekly basis because it's the World Championship and I want to be a fighting champion? When you get to that level, you are supposed to give out championship matches in a rare situation when someone has earned it. Look at Roman Reigns. I'm not asking for MJF to go on a fucking 4-year title reign. I don't want 4-year title reigns. I think they're boring. It only works in the most rarest of situations. Roman was an example of that, and we're never going to see that again for many, many, many years. But I'm not asking for that. But what Roman did for the WWE Championship over 4 years, he wanted to put over one guy. There wasn't one guy that came up in all those 4 years until Cody. It could have been Adam Copeland. It could have been Bryan Danielson. It could have been anybody. He waited and he decided Cody. Now he's going to do the same thing again with the World Heavyweight Championship. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be a Braun Breaker? Is it going to be an Obafemi? He's going to pick that one guy. He's not going to drop the title to one guy on 1 week because he feels like he deserves it. No, you got to fucking earn it. You got to earn it. Yeah. That's what they should have done with MJF. And that's what bothers me about it. Cody's not giving out random title matches every fucking week. He's only defending it on the biggest shows in the biggest situations against the biggest guys. This is what people don't understand. This is why we argue about it. This is why we discuss it. I think it's wrong. Jesse's going to give it a chance, and Salamanca doesn't give a shit.
So I don't like open challenges either. But MJF comparable, to like being AEW's Roman and Cody, that I agree with, sorta. I don't, because they're not the same kind of character. Roman Reigns was an unbeatable, dominant champion. MJF is a beatable, cowardly heel. Different kind of champion. When Brock Lesnar was a champion, he was that part-time champion where he won and then went away and then came back, won and went away. He was champion for like a good year or some shit like that. He was a dominant champion. He wasn't out there, being the super baby face. That's not the kind of gimmick he has. Cody is a baby face. A baby face shouldn't lose like that. A cowardly heel is very beatable, and that's why this risk can work. I don't want to see a dominant like a killer. If they would have taken Brody King on the route that I wish they would have taken and made him a dominant, unbeatable champion, no, I don't want to see him losing to this degree like MJF did. But MJF is a different kind of top guy. He's their top guy, yes, but he's not a dominant champion like the Roman Reigns. Not like that. He's a cowardly heel. So it can work. I'm not saying this is working, but if they're going to take a risk and do something like this, this has the possibility to work out.
And with Brody, he's won, 6 or 7 matches in a row and now wants a world championship. Why didn't they do this the first time with him? He won 1 match against MJF in a championship eliminator and then got a championship match. This is what we wanted during the first half of the year. Or back in January. Win fucking matches. Show me you winning matches. Beat guys. Get a championship match. Everybody else was doing it, but he didn't do it. Now they're doing it with him, and he's going to lose again anyway. And he's in a championship match against Darby. He's not going to win the championship next week.
He's not winning the championship.
Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, man?
No.
Holy shit.
I would love to see, bro, have it my way. I mean, it won't make sense. It wouldn't make sense now because of the way they've already booked them, but had it my way, Brody King would be AEW's Obafemi. I would have booked him very similarly, bro. I mean, just that big fucking guy that is going to whoop your ass. Either Obafemi as a babyface or Gunther as a heel is what I would have done with Brody King. They had something special with that guy, and I just don't feel like it's right there anymore with him.
Because it's not.
It's not.
It's not. They use him as a catapult for somebody else. He wins matches, gets a title match, and then loses, and then right back to it all over again. It's like, it's tough. It's tough. But I'm glad we got that, or at least me anyway. I got that out of my system. I know I wasn't here last week. You guys wanted my reaction to that. Jesse's here, obviously. He watched it last week live with you guys, so I'm assuming he gave you his in real time reaction to that. So this was my first week talking about it. We did talk about it last night on TNT just for a little bit. But I'm glad I got that out there. We'll see what happens. We're going into Double or Nothing. It should be a very good show with what's going on right now. Apparently, the tickets are selling incredibly well for Louis Armstrong Arena in Queens or Stadium. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on there. Yeah.
And for the record, guys, we both, and I'm going to speak for both of us, AEW is doing better statistically all around. And we are happy to see that. We want both companies to actually thrive at whatever level succeed for them. WWE's level of success is far higher than what AEW would consider success. But whatever is getting them to a higher level, pro wrestling fans win. We just want both companies to thrive.
We do. One is advertising us to death, and the other makes questionable booking decisions, which, if you listen to the core fan base and you listen to the people that actually cared, maybe it wouldn't be as boring or as bad as it is. But we're going to get into some of this show. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because honestly, outside of the main event, there was nothing really to sink your teeth into here. And we just talked about the biggest topic right now in AEW, and that is MJF losing the World Championship. We're going to get into this, but I want to thank you guys very much for joining us here on Wednesday night. This will be the last stream until Friday. I get a nice respite, nice rest of my voice because, man, I've been going hard since Monday, and we did commentary for House of Glory on Thursday, which was a tremendous show, and I always put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into that. But you guys killed it WrestleMania weekend. I saw a lot of people like, oh, there's not enough AEW talk over here. I was live with Coach, and then we were live on Tuesday Night Titans with Jason. Not a lot of AEW talk, but there wasn't much going on. It's WrestleMania weekend. What the fuck you want me to do? It's all WrestleMania, baby. It's all WrestleMania. So we're going to talk AEW tonight, but I want to, again, thank you guys very much. Follow us on social media, at JD from NY206, at Chi-Town Smark. Go and check him out on Twitter and on YouTube. I linked his channel down below in the description, so please go and check that out. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. We got 519 likes. I'd love to see at least 750 before we get on out of here. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We're having a tremendous April. I'd love to end it super, super strong. So please go and do that for me. Go check out all the great content on the channel. Like I said, man, you want it? I got it. It's on the homepage. WrestleMania. You want WrestleMania reviews. You want Tuesday Night Titans, Monday Night Raw, Raw After Mania. It's all there. Go check out the stuff with the Coach on his YouTube channel, Behind the Turnbuckle. We were live on Tuesday for the 2 count. Anything going on with you, Jesse, on your end that you want to mention here?
Yeah, bro. So, you know what? Everybody here knows that we did a collab with In the Clutch Entertainment with Ross and Dub.
Yeah.
So they did what they're calling a collabathon. They did a collabathon for WrestleMania. They did upwards of like 9 or 10 different collabs with different IWC content creators.
Who was the most viewed out of all of the collabathon, Jesse?
Well, I am glad that you asked that, my friend.
Yes.
Because there is one collab that is seemingly far and away more viewed than any other collab that they have done on that channel. And those are your boys right here in OTS. And I'm pretty confident that it has a lot to do with a lot of the people that are here. So I wanted to take my time here at this moment to thank all of you guys for showing up and showing In the Clutch Entertainment our reach, because they have almost 1 million viewers, bro. So that is a lot more exposure.
Yeah, that was a fun time. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that again very soon.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys for that. I'm in the process of moving my office to a new location, and I want to be changing everything about my layout. I'm going from a digital layout to an IRL layout, new office, new content coming. So join me as I go through this change here on YouTube.
There you go. Someone in the chat asked me, do NXT reviews. You do realize that I do Tuesday Night Titans with the Solomonster, and we triple the amount of NXT views, quadruple the amount of NXT views. And also, NXT sucks. So I'm not doing NXT. This isn't black and gold, okay?
No.
Whatever this version of NXT is just not good.
Are they live every Tuesday? Or are they recorded?
Yeah, they're live, yeah.
They're live?
Yeah.
Maybe they should go back to record. Being recorded was actually kind of fun.
Well, it was at Full Sail, so.
Yeah, so being live and being recorded has its ups and its downs. Some shows need to be live. Your flagship show needs to be live. But there's nothing wrong with a nice little recorded show. Lucha Underground was very recorded and very produced and very edited, and I loved it. I loved it. Black and Gold was recorded. Loved it. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needs to be under the right circumstances. And I think NXT would benefit from going recorded.
I don't know, but if they do or don't, I'm not watching.
Yeah.
I'm not watching. I'll catch up on the highlights, and that's all it's worth. So make sure you guys go and check out all that content. Leave a comment down below as well. And super chats, like I mentioned, get them on in. Go follow Jesse. And we're going to get into this Dynamite post-show right now. At the top, we had MJF and Kevin Knight. I don't want to sit here going over everything MJF said because this was a very long opening segment to the show. MJF came out to complain, and he was interrupted by Kevin Knight, and they went back and forth and eventually landed on a TNT Championship match. I thought it was going to take place tonight. MJF trolled him. They got a referee out there in Bryce Remsburg, and he immediately leaves the ring and says that Kevin Knight will wrestle MJF on his time, and that'll be next week for the TNT Championship. So clearly Tony Khan wants to put this match out there and then let it marinate for 7 days and then build it up for next week's show, which is fine. But we already talked about the idea of MJF going after the TNT Championship. He doesn't need it. Did they book themselves in a corner here? Do they have Kevin Knight beat MJF, which would be ridiculous? Does MJF win by DQ or lose by DQ? As long as he doesn't take a visual pinfall here, I'm okay with it. I don't know how we get there, but we'll see what happens next week. It should be a good match. The first time that they wrestled a couple weeks ago was really good. Outside of that, Kevin Knight's promo work needs a little work, Jesse. What did you think of his promo on the microphone?
I can tell that he's working on it.
Him talking in the third person is not working.
That's as much as I can give him. I can tell he's working on it, but he has a lot of work to do.
Well, let's cut talking in the third person. You aren't The Rock, okay? Yeah. Just talk like a human being. Who talks in the third person?
I agree. That's a gimmick.
Yeah.
And that's not your gimmick. So no, don't do that.
He called himself the Jet about 3 or 4 different times in this promo.
Don't do that. No.
So yeah, that's next week and should be good. Like I said, as long as MJF doesn't take a pinfall or a visual pinfall in this match, we should be fine.
Yeah.
Renee Paquette. She's backstage with The Demand and Jericho. She didn't say Chris Jericho. She just said Jericho. Apparently,
the ring announcer called him Chris.
Okay.
In the match.
Okay.
With pay-per-view.
Well, maybe it's just Jericho in the backstage interviews. I don't know.
Probably a mistake.
But there's a 6-man tag team match on Collision with Jericho and 2 mystery partners at this point in the show against The Demand, Ricochet, and the Gates of Agony. Ricochet mocks Jericho and says that he doesn't have any teammates because all of his bridges are burned and no one wants to be associated with the guy that gets his ass kicked by The Demand every week. Jericho says, well, you can't say that anymore. It's copyright infringement. So he legitimately trademarked that quote. The guy who gets his ass kicked by The Demand every single week is now trademarked. So
did they actually do that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's on a t-shirt.
Okay, that's funny.
So he's got this like subliminal act that's going on. Shows off his new t-shirt, which reads Jericho, the guy who gets his ass beat by The Demand every week that he shows up.
I want to know if they actually trademarked
He did.
That.
He did. It was in the news this week. Yeah. He legitimately trademarked that quote.
That's funny.
Ricochet says he's going to be, yeah. Ricochet said he's going to beat Jericho again with a Rico salt instead of the Lion salt. And Jericho says he doesn't have to find partners who like him as long as his partners don't like Ricochet and The Demand. I'm guessing they're still running with this feud. The match was very good at Dynasty. I'll give him that. I said as much. But for having it to continue, where does this go? Like, what's the end goal here?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what they're doing with Jericho here.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
At least Ricochet is the right guy for Jericho to work with. He's not at the top of the card. He's not challenging for a championship. So maybe he thinks we need to start getting Ricochet over and moving him up the ladder somehow. And Jericho's going to try and aid him in doing that.
Start by splitting him from The Demand.
Yep.
Same thing I said about Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Not the current Swerve, the previous version of Swerve where they gave him a faction that sucked with Tretch and Parker Boot.
Yep. We got Brody King. Brody was at the House of Glory show. He wrestled Zilla Fatu on Thursday last week. Very good match. Brody is just as big in person as he is on television. He might have been giving me a death stare once or twice, but that's
probably
not a surprise. And Zilla is excellent.
I low-key thought Zilla was going to show up on Raw after Mania.
Me too.
I did. I did. I was like, "Where's Zilla? Where is Zilla right now this weekend?" I thought he was gonna show up.
Zilla's great. He'll be there sooner rather than later. So.
Yeah, he deserves it, man. He's really good.
Yeah. So Brody wrestled Leo Rush here. This is Blackheart Leo Rush. We have Leo Rush, Jesse, taking a page out of Becky Lynch's book. He's like,
"This is not his home. This is my house. This is not his house."
I don't know what he's doing.
Skip.
I don't know what he's saying. What he's conjuring up. What is he doing, bro?
Skip. Nope. Go back to the Cooper Trooper. Get the jacket back. No. This ain't it.
Listen. Leo Rush is great. I think Leo Rush is great. Like in the ring, Leo Rush is great. Okay, I've called several Leo Rush matches. They are always some of the most exciting matches on the card.
In the ring, he's great. On the mic, he's great. This gimmick ain't it.
Listen, I don't know what it is. Like, I've seen him do it before. This is not his first rodeo with this gimmick. We've seen him do it before. He's done it before AEW. The thing is, if AEW took a little bit of fucking time, or maybe Leo Rush goes to fucking management, which I'm assuming he probably did, and they're not adhering to what he wants, all I need to know is where this gimmick came from. What is it? How did he all of a sudden transform from what we saw with Action Andretti to the Blackheart? There was no explanation from where he previously was to where we see him now. What is the transformation about? Who is this Blackheart? Why is he Blackheart? We got no explanation for any of this. If they gave me that, I'd be a little bit more open to saying, you know what, this shit's good. But he's just on TV for no reason.
I'm starting to wonder if he just came up with this. Like, if you said he had this gimmick in his pocket already, I'm wondering if he just pulled this out to try to get himself on TV.
Maybe.
Because he wasn't doing anything and he pitched this and then this got him on TV. If that's the case, hey, hats off to you, man. You got yourself on TV. But this has such a low shelf life on it. It's ridiculous. What happened to Action Andretti? Didn't he have a tag team partner?
I don't know. Isn't he in that Skyflight now?
Is he?
Isn't he with Scorpio Sky?
I don't know. Is that a collision thing? I don't know.
Yeah,
but this is a prime example of hot shotting somebody. This guy beat Chris Jericho, Action Andretti, and they haven't done shit with him.
Just give me some explanation about why he's all of a sudden now some fucking zombie. What is he? Is he a demon? What is he? We got Demon Balor. We know why Demon Balor is Demon Balor. Can we understand and get a fucking explanation as to why Leo Rush is Blackheart Leo Rush? It doesn't take that much effort.
I wish, man.
Anyway, who won? Brody King won. Rush tried for Rush Hour. Brody King was ready and turned Rush inside out with a big lariat. Rush fought back, hanging Brody up between the ropes. He was looking for a Death Valley driver, which he fought off. King wanted a gonzo bomb. But Rush slid out, hits a handspring kick right to the face, sending Brody to the outside. And then all of a sudden, Leo Rush does this thing where he's like, I swear to God, man, it looks like one of them fucking, it looks like a walker from Resident Evil. He's like hopping around the ring like some fucking golem. I don't even know what you call it. He's like galloping around the ring. He does a low tope suicida through the bottom rope. And then he follows up with a huge cross body splash onto the floor. So he goes back up top. Brody's in the ring. He tries to hit a frog splash. He does. Brody kicks out at a 1. Rush climbs up top again, rolls through a dive as Brody moves out of the way. They go back and forth for a little bit. Big boss man slam by Brody. Corner cannonball, gonzo bomb, and that's it for the win. I guess this was only done to A, get Leo Rush some television time on the A show for this Blackheart gimmick. And then B, give Brody another win. So he has more of a, I guess, story or more of a reason to challenge Darby Allin for the World Championship next week because he's won now 7 or 8 matches in a row.
Guess so.
Anything you want to add here?
No, man. I hate this gimmick. I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I'm not enjoying it. I don't like it. It has a low ceiling. What are we doing here? I mean, it's just a gimmick out there to laugh at, man. This is not it. This is not it.
Your Brody's my precious.
You know,
Little house.
maybe it would make more sense if he had a faction of people behind him all doing the same gimmick. For instance, if this was something in a group kind of like the Wyatts, you know, where they are just all weird and creepy. That would, the whole thing would collectively would be the gimmick. This is just him out there by himself, weird for no reason.
Just give him Vince Russo's phone number, man. Get him on fucking Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Have him fucking crawling around with cocaine and fucking the zombie faction over there, man. That's where he belongs with this gimmick.
Yeah, he's by himself out there. It just looks weird. It just looks fucking weird, man.
Renee's with Tommaso Ciampa as he gets ready for the World Championship match that somehow he earned against Darby Allin. Very good promo here. Ciampa said he's been told his entire career he's not big enough. True. Which is bullshit. Not passing the airport test, which is true. Bullshit. Not charismatic enough, which is really fucking bullshit. Not main event material, which is the most bullshit out of all the excuses here. Ciampa says he's a husband, a father, a son, a brother. Insane work ethic tonight isn't about heroes or villains. It's about passion. Glass ceilings are imaginary. Tonight is for pro wrestling. Ciampa says, you've never seen a man more prepared for his moment than he is tonight. Go ask Darby Allin if he wants it more than Ciampa needs it. This was an excellent fucking promo.
He's always had a good promo, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Love Ciampa.
Yep.
Adam Copeland. He's backstage. And he talks about how he and Christian deserve another tag team title shot despite FTR denying them a shot last week. Copeland said FTR are one of the best ever and said at Double or Nothing, Copeland and Cage versus FTR in a street fight. If FTR wins, Copeland and Christian retire as a tag team. Copeland knows that, knows what his answer would be. And if you're the best tag team of all time, like you say you are, I think we all know what the answer should be. Only one way to prove it. The ball is in FTR's court. You know, we talk about predictable matches, Jesse. Does anybody think that Copeland and Christian are going to retire as a tag team?
I think this is a very believable stipulation.
Do you?
I don't see a reason why these two have to stay together as a tag team. They can break up, stay singles guys, and stay in the company just fine. It's not like they're saying they have to retire. That would be an unbelievable stipulation.
You think they're going to retire before we get Cope and Christian versus the Young Bucks?
No, that's what I'm. As a tag team though.
You know, I thought we were going to get that triple threat ladder match because I think Tony wants it to be like a throwback to the Dudleys and Edge and Christian and the Hardys. I think he's going to try and recreate that with Edge here and Cope and Christian, FTR, and the Young Bucks. But I thought that would happen here at Double or Nothing. We're not. We're getting another 2-on-2 match. I don't know what the Bucks are going to do. They'll probably win another match and stake claim to the tag team championships at All In. But I can't see them not doing Cope and Christian versus the Young Bucks. I think that's the match I think that's the match the Bucks want more than anything. And I think Cope and Christian want to wrestle them before they actually do retire.
No, that's a good point. I forgot that they haven't had the Bucks yet. So, yeah, I entirely expect them to win this one now. Yeah, for sure. Well,
yeah, I mean, if it's a street fight, I don't know, maybe there's a way out of it where we still keep FTR in the title hunt. I don't know. We'll see. But New York City street fight, Cope and Christian versus FTR. Should be good. The last match was good at Dynasty, but if there's no rules surrounding it, who knows what these guys are going to do.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hikaru Shida with Chris Statlander against Mina. Good old Mina, Jesse Shirakawa.
Okay, maybe you can help me out. Me and my audience couldn't figure this out. I don't know. Why does Shida look so different?
Well, I can't say per se, Jesse, because then people will think I'm judging women on their body and their look.
She looks different, and I cannot put a finger. something has changed about her appearance, her face. I mean, something's changed with Shida. We can't figure this shit out.
She sat at home for 2 years, Jesse, streaming on Twitch, which means that I'm just going to paint a picture for you. Shida has been inactive, Jesse. She's been inactive.
She been on the Emi Sakura diet. I see.
Maybe, yeah. She's been live streaming on Twitch. She's been playing Mario on Twitch. It's me, Mario.
She looks different, bro.
I don't know.
Oh well,
I don't know.
Good on.
You know who don't look different? Mina.
Or Stat.
Mina looks great.
Yeah.
You know, they got this Tony Storm thing going on. Who attacked Tony Storm? There's like clues in the locker room left after the attack.
His name is Juice. What?
Well, he didn't attack his wife, but Mina is blaming Hikaru Shida. Supposedly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. She's like, I will find out who attacked my beloved, Tony Storm. And she's going to start with Hikaru Shida. You know who I think it was? I think it was Chris Statlander.
It must have been. I mean,
I think they're getting ready to turn the heel again.
And I'm going to come here and lose my shit.
all over again.
All over again. I mean, not because she shouldn't be healed, but because we tried this and you literally fucked it up last time.
I don't know where they're going. Stat looks like she's completely lost. She almost looks out of place.
Yep.
Anyway, Shida won here. She did beat Mina, which is crazy. I thought Mina was going to be set up for Tekla in the World Championship. She had that screwy finish where Tekla who? Tekla, Jesse. Tekla.
Oh, okay.
Tekla won via nefarious means. And I thought that was going to be the match at Dynasty. We didn't get that. We got Jamie Hayter instead. But now Mina is just kind of bouncing around, doing not much of anything. She loses to Shida here. There was a distraction on the outside. Shida went to go grab her kendo stick. Mina takes it away, was about to use it. Stat was on the outside and pulled it away from Mina. This distraction allowed Shida to hit her leaping knee strike and then a Falcon's arrow for the 1, 2, 3. Again, I don't know where this is going. But Shida's on television. She's got a win here.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
I was in an elevator with Shida. Stood right next to her. She did not look like this. I'm just saying.
Maybe she's a gym buff now, Jesse. She put on 30 pounds of muscle. She's been inactive.
Not going there, but I will say this: she does look good. She does look good.
Footage of the Young Bucks being attacked by the Dogs on Collision last week. Apparently, it's announced that the Bucks and the Rascals will take on the Dogs and the Death Riders this Saturday. Sounds like a good time, huh?
Yeah, why not? I mean, woo!
I will not be watching the Dogs and the Death Riders on Collision. That sounds fucking awful. Holy shit.
And you guys wonder why I don't watch the shit. They have to do something with the Dogs. So if they're gonna keep pushing them on TV, bro, you have to get them.
Gabe Kidd's out. He's out with a shoulder injury. He's gonna be out for like 4 months.
No, well, fuck that then.
What are they gonna do? They got to replace him with another dog, huh?
Need more dogs. Need more dogs.
Who else can they lure away from New Japan?
They need bro, film some vignettes while he's out. Great, run vignettes. Can he film vignettes? There's no connection between them and the audience, because they just brought them in and shoved them on TV.
Zero.
There's no but while he's gone, great. Film vignettes and strategically place them throughout the show over the next, few months or whatever. But there's no connection, man. So when you tell me that they're in a match with such and such, instantly don't care about the match because I already don't care about 50% of the match.
You know, I was told that David Finlay made the right choice by choosing AEW over NXT. I don't think that's the case anymore.
I'm not gonna speculate there.
You know who I don't want them to replace Gabe Kidd with? I see some people in the chat. Jay White. That's an awful idea. Can you imagine Jay White in this dead end nowhere feud, bro?
No, don't. Unless, I mean, if he was gonna come back and then show up as to the reason why they showed up in the leader of this new, but even still, there's no connection with them. I feel like they'd be settling him with two guys that we just don't care about.
Do we expect AEW to tell us why he would join the Dogs and all of a sudden not give the other group he was with an explanation as to why he left? You know, the Guns and Juice and what's that other guy's name? Ace Austin?
Yeah,
he's a part of them too now, apparently.
Yep. I was just thinking that. Like, he already had a faction when he left, and it was an awesome one. So, yeah. No, I don't know what they're gonna do with that group. I mean, we're trying to shoehorn these guys in. Well, I'm gonna be honest, they're not really needed. No, they're not really needed. The roster is bloated, and these guys are not really making. I mean, look, man, I'm not trying to be a dick, to these guys who might be, watching or listening or something like that. But the roster is bloated, and the Dogs are not something that anybody's clamoring to see. People are asking, where's the Hurt Syndicate? Where is this? Where is it? We want other people. We actually have a connection with plenty of people that we're not seeing on TV, but we're getting the Dogs. I mean, so
I don't know.
Where's Max Caster?
Who?
Exactly. I mean, with guys that we already enjoyed.
They were in Vegas. They were at the pool in Vegas.
You saw them at the pool in Vegas?
No, I wasn't there. I saw them on Instagram, on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you ran into them. Like,
nah. No, I didn't get a chance to go to anything. I was in and out.
Oh, man. You should have made some time, man.
I'll be back. Will Ospreay. He went one-on-one with Mark Davis, who apparently is the busiest man in the entire Don Callis family. He's got TV time He's got more TV time, Jesse, than Okada, Takeshita, and Andrade.
They will not let Mark Davis die, will they?
No. I think Tony actually feels bad for him because he lost his tag team partner. Remember Jake Doyle?
Yeah. Remember when, Top Flight kept getting injured? And they kept trying to keep the other guy on TV as long as they could, but then this game, bro, this is kind of feeling like that right now.
I don't know what they're doing with Will Ospreay, but they love dropping Will Ospreay on his head.
My fucking
Every week, why? Multiple times a week, they love dropping Will Ospreay on his head.
The guy came back from neck fusion. They couldn't wait to drop him on his head.
Nope.
They do it every week.
Nope.
This guy did a corkscrew moonsault fresh out of surgery. I bet he did a corkscrew moonsault off of the operating table in the hospital. Every week, he's on TV flipping off of shit. Bro, is there any chill in the booking of Will Ospreay? We get it. He's back. Come on out, do some promos, maybe take part in a scuffle, and then get ready for next week and then lead us into your match at the pay-per-view. Why is this guy wrestling every fucking week?
I was just about to say that. Why is he on TV every week in a wrestling match?
Why?
I like someone in the chat said, this match was sick. G Money. There's never a bad Will Ospreay match, ever. But why does he need to wrestle every week?
No, we want to see the guy live and wrestle comfortably.
Why do we need to see Mark Davis every fucking week?
Well, I have no idea for that one.
There was a pile driver in this match. Hidden Blade was shut down by Davis. He hits a pile driver, pull-up pile driver. Ospreay got his foot on the rope to break that. And then Ospreay rolled to the apron where Davis again hits a spike pile driver on the apron.
On the apron.
And he falls out to the outside. Referee Paul Turner called over Doc Sampson, the referee. They're checking on Ospreay. And he tried to make his way back into the ring, but the doctor refused to let him continue, saying Ospreay told him he had no feeling in his arm. So the match ended, and they gave Mark Davis the win. So post-match, Davis dragged Ospreay back into the ring and was about to deliver another pile driver when Marina Shafir appeared on the apron, and all of a sudden we see Jon Moxley standing in the middle of the ring looking at Mark Davis, and Mark Davis has Ospreay upside down ready to deliver a pile driver. So the Death Riders all of a sudden now surround the ring. Davis slowly places Ospreay down. He leaves the ring with Don Callis. Moxley and Claudio dragged Ospreay to the floor, and they carried him through the crowd and out of the arena, and we didn't see or hear about this again for the rest of the night. So you're probably looking at this saying, how does this make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. The only way this makes any sense, Jesse, because we just saw Moxley beat Ospreay at Dynasty. Are we looking at the Death Riders now take Ospreay and nurse him back to health for the good of the company? What are we doing here? It's like they're taking him back to the nest and they're going to nurse him back to health so we can win the Owen.
It's a story.
Is it? Do we trust the Death Riders, bro? No.
It's a story.
Jesse trusts the Death Riders. You believe this?
You're just making up shit now. Okay. Guys, JD is gay. What?
Who?
I mean, all these guys do is wrestle. Bell to bell. Wrestle, they go home. Wrestle, they go home. Here's a story. What is this story? I don't know. Let's fucking see. Let's fucking see. Is it starting off well? No. It's nonsensical. But it's a story. It involves a top guy. Let me see what they got.
If you're going to do something like this and leave it so confusing, give me something to at least hang on to going into next week. That's all I ask. Like, this was fucking weird. You just beat the shit out of the guy, and then you're carrying him back out of the arena and disappear for the rest of the night. Can you give me a reason why you did that? Something? Just a little bit?
By a bunch of heels that seemingly turn face whenever they feel like it. Let me see what they got. Let me see what they got.
Oh, my God.
Next week, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what they plan on doing. I want to know what's happening.
Well, we'll be here. Renee is backstage with Alex Windsor, asking about her loss to Tekla. Jesse, Tekla.
Not about her kidnapped fiance, by the way.
No, not at all.
That's not a concern of hers at all.
No.
And don't tell me that, they're not a couple on TV, because she just fucking came out with him the other week and kicked ass with him, and they told us that they were engaged.
Yeah.
And now he just got kidnapped, and she doesn't give a shit.
No. Now she's talking about her loss to Tekla last week and Jamie Hayter not being cleared still after Dynasty. Windsor said she will rip the legs off the spider, and they're lucky Hayter isn't there tonight. Persephone walks in and said if she'll have a god in her corner, she'll team with her on Collision. Windsor accepts, and they challenge any two of the Triangle of Madness this Saturday on Collision. Persephone says they'll kick their asses in Spanish. Okay.
All right.
You sickos on Saturday night, you get to see Persephone. Good for you guys.
I like Persephone.
Me too. Samoa Joe against Cody Chung. Who?
Cody's back in AEW.
Cody Rhodes is back in AEW, man. Only this time he's Cody Chung Lee.
They changed his name. So what? It's all big. It's all good. It's all good.
Any idea who won this match, Jesse? Anybody?
Cody
Chung.
Cody, whatever. They changed his last name. Still same Cody. You know, it's all good.
Is Cody Chung going to be on his way to a WWE Championship at WrestleMania next year? Is he going to finish the story next year?
He's going to be in the Rumble.
Is he? Okay.
He's going to be in the Rumble. Bye.
Samoa Joe won after the match was over. Muscle buster, by the way. Joe walks up the ramp, and Hook was there to applaud him as the two Ops members have reunited. Uh-oh. Jesse, has Hook done anything for the Ops in Samoa Joe's absence?
He was looking.
Wasn't Shibata sent to Japan to go recruit for the Ops in Japan?
He's looking too, man. What's the problem? They're all looking.
They're all looking.
Yeah, they're looking for members.
How do you say whoa in Japanese, Chad? Anybody? We got Darby Allin video package. Covered his journey through AEW, winning the AEW Championship last week. Renee's also back out there with Jericho in the locker room. She asked Jericho if he had found partners for Collision. So, as a matter of fact, he says, I did. And out of Jericho's locker room, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP. And they all nod to Jericho. And then he calls Ricochet bald.
Uh-oh.
So we got the Hurt Syndicate, I guess, playing the role of the Acolyte Protection Agency, Josie? APA?
Hey, that is literally the way I pitched they should be booked. APA style. Got money, we'll go whoop some ass for you.
So that's taking place. That's taking place on Collision. You figured they'd save that match for Dynamite next week, but they're doing it on Playoff Palooza Collision.
Bro, why are they just holding these guys on Collision?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
Tony Schiavone's in the ring with Darby Allin as he welcomes the new champion. Chance of you deserve it. Allin says this took everything. He had his first match here in Portland as he didn't think of what to say, as this could end in minutes when Ciampa comes out here. So he says, and he basically told you what exactly is going on. He said this 15-minute ride could end, or 15 minutes of fame could end. He sees what it does to people. It grows egos, but this isn't for Allin. It's for his parents. He helped retire. His fiance he met on the school bus. The Sherpas who helped him climb the mountain. And it's for the fans. MJF screams as he walks out through the back, screaming, no, no, no. Allin doesn't deserve shit. And he tells Darby Allin that he's a pipsqueak, and he tells him to give him his belt back now. Darby says no. He declines MJF's demand for a rematch. Allin says he's not giving MJF a rematch until he puts something else on the line, as everyone in the back deserves a chance at this championship, and he's going to put the title on the line every week until the wheels come off. Screaming for MJF to get out of here. Ciampa's music hits. Ciampa does his full entrance. MJF is still standing in the aisleway. He gets in Ciampa's face. He tells something to Ciampa. We can't hear what it is. Ciampa's looking at him dead in the eye and then kisses MJF on the cheek. And MJF is just standing there furious. And we get this championship match. Darby versus Ciampa. This was tremendous. Ciampa's an incredible wrestler. Darby, when he wants to work, is great in his own right. This was bloody. So I don't know where he came up bloody, but Ciampa was fucking busted open. Darby Allin beats Tommaso Ciampa to retain the AEW World Championship. What'd you think of this match, Jesse, for a main event? I know we can joke about Tommaso Ciampa going after the TNT title and what did he do to earn it and why is this a match? How did they come to choosing Ciampa? What'd you think of the overall match and the way that they set it up with MJF?
The main event tonight?
Yeah.
With MJF, though? What do you mean?
I mean, MJF coming out there, demanding a rematch, Darby saying no, Ciampa's interaction, and then we get this match. What'd you think of the whole thing?
So I think I like how it plants a seed, because that interaction, that little stare down with MJF and Ciampa was absolutely a seed, and I'm absolutely here for that match. I cannot wait to see that. I think this match was really fucking good, man. I think this match was better than any and everything on WrestleMania not named Roman and Cody. Roman and Punk, sorry.
Yeah.
It was very good. And it's very good. I mean, overall, the wrestling on WrestleMania was really bad, but still, this was a very, very good goddamn match, man. This was really fucking good. Especially for a TV match. So I knew they can work, but I don't know if it was the chemistry. I don't know what, but they worked very well together and they beat the shit out of each other. So I liked everything about this match. I think it gave us a little bit of the in-ring stuff and gave us some of the Darby crash out shit on the outside. It gave us a little bit of both. I'm not even sure what happened to Ciampa. I'm not sure if that was hard way or he bladed.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I was all about this match, man. I was sitting there when it started off. I was just watching like, oh, okay, it's a regular main event match. And then it went on and it went on. And it elevated, and like this was a good goddamn match, man. They killed it tonight. They need to be proud of themselves. This was a very good match.
This was one of the better matches on Wednesday night this year. There was Darby slingshot. Actually, Darby got slingshot underneath the ring skirt, right underneath the metal beam. So he got choked out there. He quickly went up top. One of the big spots of the match is that he jumped off the steel post through the timekeeper's table, what Ciampa was, and he put Ciampa through the timekeeper's table. Chance of holy shit. Now, there was a referee count, and Ciampa came up bleeding. So I'm assuming he either bladed or cut himself through some of the table rubble. But that's what happened there. From that, Ciampa was just a crimson mask, and he was bleeding all over the place. But this went as you would expect. So after Ciampa was bloodied, Ciampa knocked Darby off balance on the top rope. He went on offense. Darby comes back. He is trying to make a babyface comeback here. Ciampa came right back and knocked the back of Darby's head into an exposed turnbuckle. Ciampa went and landed a running knee strike. He goes for a cover, gets a near fall. He landed Project Ciampa twice. One on the outside, which was fucking ridiculous. Off the top rope to the outside, which looked ridiculous. He came up right on his tailbone. Darby just splat on the mat. So they went all out for this match. I didn't think they needed to go as hard as they did, but they did. So there were a chance to fight forever. Darby applied a sharpshooter a minute later in the ring. Ciampa crawled towards the bottom rope. Darby pulled Ciampa back in the middle of the ring. Shifted his leverage. Ciampa ended up tapping out. And Ciampa was very respectful of Darby. They shook hands. They hugged. And Ciampa took the championship, unstrapped it, and put it over Darby's left shoulder. At the end of this match, Brody comes on out, storms out there. He's got a microphone. He told Darby he was serious about challenging him next week. He said, Tony just booked the match. Tony Khan, that is. Next week, the title will be on the line. Darby looked exhausted. They shook hands. Brody raised his arm as Darby's music played and the show came to an end. So we got a TNT title match next week with MJF and Kevin Knight. And we got Darby Allin versus Brody King for the AEW Championship. Next week on Dynamite in Virginia. That's the way the show went off the air.
Hangman?
Maybe.
Where is he?
It's about time, right? We haven't seen him since Revolution.
Yeah, where's he kayfabe wise? He's just not back since the pay-per-view. Right?
We haven't seen him since the pay-per-view. We haven't seen Swerve. Yeah. We haven't seen Swerve either.
We're not going to Virginia without getting Hangman. So you can forget that bullshit.
And that's your Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen.
I low-key kind of hoped. Before I say this, what is Tommaso Ciampa? Is he a heel or a babyface?
I don't know.
Because I kind of low-key would have loved to have seen the Psycho Killer not shake Darby's hand and just go full psycho on him, and then Brody King had to come out and pull Psycho Killer off of Darby before they did their little. I want to see the Psycho Killer continue being the Psycho Killer. That's all.
Yeah, Jesse, that would work. That would work if we stop giving him championship matches that don't go anywhere. He's wrestled for the TNT Championship. He's wrestled for the National Championship. He's now wrestled for the AEW Championship. It's like, why do you constantly throw these guys into championship matches and then they end up losing and losing and losing and losing? It's like the first thing that you should really make a priority is building up their character and getting them settled on TV and then start building them towards a championship match that makes sense. It's like Ciampa's had 3 championship matches now, old deuces, old goose eggs. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, when are we going to get him a W? It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, it is. But damn, he's good, man.
He's very good. He's always been good.
Are we getting Gargano over here?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Johnny Gargano. He's still laying on fucking boxes on Friday night.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get into your super chats, guys, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. And by the looks of it, we don't really have a lot. So, where did everybody go this weekend, man? You guys were so fucking busy this WrestleMania weekend. Everybody was packing the venue. Now Dynamite happens and nobody.
They burnt out, man. It's been a long weekend of wrestling.
Burnt out. Follow us on social media at JD from NY206. That's Chi-Town Smart. Go follow Jesse on YouTube at Chi-Town Smart. Go check all the content on the channel. I will not be doing a fucking thing tomorrow. If there is news, I'll make a video, but there's no streams until Friday night. The Friday night after WrestleMania for SmackDown. Who are we going to get up from NXT? We're going to see JC Jane. We're going to see Lola Vice, Fallon Henley, Ricky Saints, maybe. We'll see.
Ooh.
Also, Super Chats are open. Get them on in and hit that thumbs up. We are a little more than 100 likes away from the goal of 750. Let's do it. Start at the top here. Michael Krause with the $2 Super Chat. JD, Jesse, OTS, how is everyone today? Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Michelle Moran with the $2 Super Chat. MJF going after the TNT title now. What the fuck is Tony Khan doing? We asked the same thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully he didn't book himself into a corner there. He could have. Hollywood Eric with 36 months. Happy 36 months in the venue. Can't believe it's been 3 years. JD, time flies. Thank you to you, Jesse, the best tag team in the IWC. Love y'all. Thank you, Hollywood Eric.
Thank you, sir.
Smartest Mark alive. What's up, my brother? Coming to us from Australia with a $20 Super Chat. Best Dynamite of the year. The title scene is stacked, and this is exactly why Darby as champion isn't a bad idea. It's more unpredictable now than ever. It's not believable for people to beat MJF. With Darby, it's different.
Half glass, half full, half empty.
It's still predictable, bro. It's still very predictable. Darby's not losing to any of these guys, and MJF is not losing to Darby at Double or Nothing again. It's very predictable. It's really a problem in all of pro wrestling. It's just very predictable. It takes you out of the match. I don't think anybody knows how to be unpredictable anymore. Justin with the 44 months. AEW is boring. You know who isn't boring? JD and Jesse. They keep us entertained after a boring AEW. You can't believe they squashed MJF last week. Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm not here to squash MJF ever. Gold Standard with a $5 Super Chat. TK and TKO dropping the ball. Not a good year for the TKs. No. WrestleMania Night 1 was fucking offensively terrible. One of the worst Night 1s in the history of WrestleMania. Mad Eagle with a $4.99. MJF is so hot. TK sought fit to douse his heat with a bucket of ice cold Darby Allin. Who does this benefit? Nobody. Darby's going to get some momentum, but like we talked about, it's all in the aftermath. What are you going to do after the follow-up? David Rice with a $20 Super Chat. AEW does not have much goodwill when it comes to storytelling. As far as the main event, it was fantastic, but because of the lack of story and interest, they have to work twice as hard to get a good reaction.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, David's not wrong. They have to work. They have to do what they did in that match, the blood and the fucking big spots to get a reaction because there's no story coming in.
They didn't work hard enough. It sucked. They work hard. Oh, now they got to work hard to get it. Jesus fucking Christ.
There's no story, though. He's right. There's no story, so the match has to be that way, Jesse.
There's no winning. It was a bad match to be complaining. It was a good match, and this is the complaint.
It's a logical take. He's not wrong. Dangleberry with a 5. I miss how great AEW used to feel. Had Punk, Omega, the Young Bucks. Could have just done business, all of them. Those matches could have rivaled Ciampa Gargano. They could have. But nobody wanted to work with each other.
Hey, shout out to Hooligram. Says today would have been his mom's birthday.
Happy birthday to Hoolagrim's mom. Thoughts and prayers with you, brother.
Thoughts and prayers, bro. What a feeling.
Yes, we do for sure. Brandon with a $10 Super Chat. Darby's title win reminds me of Mick's win versus The Rock and then doing a rematch in one of Mick's matches. I quit with a bullshit finish. Wouldn't be surprised if Darby MJF at Double or Nothing is a coffin match. God, I hope not. I fucking hope not. We just saw one. Like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Michael Krause, $2 Super Chat. Thank you, JD and Jesse. Well, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Don Stoney with a 5. As you know, I'm new here, but loving this shit. I feel like Kev would be glad I found these shows. Oh, he is. He's listening. Wherever he may be, he's listening.
Shout out to Kevin Castle.
Yes, sir. I got Fulgence Henry with a 48 months. Time flies. Thank you, JD and Jesse. Here's to many more. Brother, I need more bracelets, bro. I got to hit you up. I need a replacement for that one bracelet. We got to get some more bracelets done. And my guy Don Stoney with the $2 super chat. Shout out to Drew Yari Experience on Wednesday nights. Thank you, Don Stoney, as always, for being here, brother. And thank you guys for being here. I know AEW isn't the most exciting thing, but you guys do show up, the ones who care. I wish the product was a little bit more hot, man. We got to get more people in here, you know?
Yeah. No.
Anyway, guys, I'm about to take it easy for the rest of the night. Maybe hop on some Black Ops 7, relax. I don't know what Jesse's going to do, but any parting words before we get the hell out of here, Jesse?
No, man. Do me a favor. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you are sitting right here watching right now, go subscribe.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free?
It's free. Go
It's
subscribe.
absolutely free. Go do it.
Support. I'm about to make some changes. I want everybody on board to see what I got rolling out, man.
There you go. I have a lot of changes in mind too. I want a new desk. I want a new PC. I want new shelving. You know, I'm kind of upgrading some equipment here along the way that I haven't hooked up yet. So,
yeah, I got to get a new PC too. I was dread.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for all of your support. We're about to get out of here. I'll be live again on Friday. If there is anything going on news-wise, I will get you guys the news tomorrow in a video or whatever it may be. But Dingleberry with a 5. Banger after fucking banger, he says. Thank you, Dingleberry. Again, follow us on social media at JD from NY206, at Chi-Town Smark, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the great content, man. There's so much of it. Get lost, get consumed. Also, the second channel is uploading clips daily, so make sure you guys go subscribe to the second channel. Link for that's down below. And if you guys are on Apple, Spotify, get those ratings in, man. Continue to rate, leave a comment. We're top 20. We recently just broke into the top 15. So make sure you guys go and do that for me over there as well. I'll be back Friday, the Friday Night SmackDown after WrestleMania. Who's getting called up and what storylines are they going to give us post-Mania on Friday night? We'll talk about it. Until then, guys, I'll see you later.